At this point, Caitlin Clark is getting hurt damn near every week, and it's looking intentional. At least that's what it's looking like from this footage that was released today. There was new footage that has come out of potentially, I'm gonna say allegedly, Jacy Sheldon kneeing Caitlin Clark in the groin. Yes, kneeing her in the groin.
The woman who's single-handedly carrying the WNBA on her shoulders just got taken out by someone who clearly has unfinished business. Jacy Sheldon, fresh off her eye-poking antics from their previous matchup, has now been pictured delivering a knee directly to Caitlin Clark's groin, leaving the league's biggest star literally crying as she hobbled off the court. And guess what? No foul called, no review, no consequences.
Why is it a problem that Caitlin Clark is calling out this referee? God forbid she finally stands up for herself. I mean, these WNBA refs are garbage, and they've been letting her get absolutely mugged on a nightly basis. Matter of fact, one of the players last night on the Connecticut Sun, or whatever they're called, literally targeted her groin.
This isn't Jacy Sheldon's first rodeo with cheap shots against Clark. In their previous encounter, Sheldon poked Clark directly in the eye during the third quarter. The eye poke was so blatant that even the most lenient observers couldn't pretend it was accidental. Clark immediately confronted Sheldon about the dirty play, but instead of backing down, Sheldon escalated the situation by bumping Clark, which led to Marina Mabrey shoving Clark to the ground from behind.
It looked like Caitlin Clark looked like she got a little hurt towards the end there. Is there any update on her injury?
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that, looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Yeah, if that's the one she was grabbing at. I don't know which one it was, but yeah, I mean, that's it.
The aftermath, Sheldon received a flagrant 1 foul and a measly $2,000 0 fine. $2,000 for deliberately poking someone in the eye? That's less than what most people pay for a decent laptop, and it's supposed to deter professional athletes from intentionally injuring the face of the league? You've got to be kidding me.
The situation at the end of the game was all that, was what ended up injuring Caitlin Clark. Because you guys did not see, first of all, this happened earlier in the game. So Caitlin Clark took a knee to the groin from Jacy Sheldon. And by the way, this is not, I don't even know if this is a dangerous play or not. I don't think it's a dangerous play. I don't think this is a dangerous play from Sheldon, but it's a foul. It is clearly a foul. And obviously, this is called as a no call. This is called as a no call. I don't know. Jacy Sheldon here sticking up her leg and hitting Caitlin Clark in the left groin. How is that not a foul?
But apparently, that slap on the wrist wasn't enough of a deterrent because Sheldon came back swinging, literally. During their latest matchup, new footage appears to show the exact moment when Sheldon delivered a knee to Clark's groin area. This wasn't some inadvertent contact during a rebounding situation or a collision while going for a loose ball. This was targeted, deliberate, and absolutely disgusting. Clark took the hit, tried to continue playing, but eventually had to leave the game in tears as her groin injury became too much to bear.
Aftermath. So there's a referee standing right there. We all can see. Look, Jacy Sheldon knees CC in the groin. Can you guys see this right here? You guys see that? That is a knee. Jacy Sheldon's knee is all the way fully, her whole leg is fully extended off the ground into Caitlin Clark's hand and groin area. You clearly see.
The timing couldn't be worse for Clark, who had already been dealing with multiple injuries this season. She'd missed 9 games due to various leg injuries and was just working her way back to full health. But instead of being allowed to recover and play the sport she loves, she's being systematically targeted by players who seem more interested in taking her out than actually competing.
Did you see last night Caitlin Clark holding her groin, digging her head in the stanchion in pain, tears coming to her eyes, all the emotion hitting her at once, whether it's mental exhaustion, frustration with another injury, feeling a pop in the groin, feeling something in the groin that you know isn't.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. And here's the kicker. No foul was called on the play. None. Zero. Zilch. The refs, who have been consistently criticized for their handling of physical play involving Clark, once again turned a blind eye to what was happening right in front of them. Clark's own brother, Colin, took to social media to blame the officiating, writing, "Make no mistake, this is on the reffing," before deleting the post. But he's absolutely right. The referees have created an environment where players know they can target Clark without consequences.
This is from Caitlin Clark's brother. Caitlin Clark's brother, as soon as she got injured, tweeted this out. "Make no mistake, this is on the reffing." This is on the reffing. This tweet lasted about 30 minutes. It lasted about 30 minutes. And if we're going to be honest, he's on the money. He is. He's absolutely.
This isn't just bad officiating, it's systematic negligence. Fever coach Stephanie White has been vocal about the egregious treatment her team receives from referees, stating that the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. She's called out the refs multiple times for allowing the physical play to escalate to dangerous levels, but her complaints fall on deaf ears. The league has a system for teams to communicate grievances about officiating, but as White noted, I don't know if I have a feeling that the system works.
There's a grab right there. There's a hold around her back. She's still kind of holding on to her with her left hand. Then Caitlin passes, and then she gets bumped a couple times, and then they finally call a foul when Quinterly slaps down on Caitlin Clark. So if we want to watch it one more time, watch when she's going to the basket. She gets bumped here, she gets grabbed, and then they finally call the foul when she's going to the basket. This was something that happened throughout the entire game, and I know that a lot of people are like, Caitlin Clark fans are like too over the top with this. Like, she's not getting fouled all the time. She is getting bumped. She is getting grabbed. She is getting hand checked throughout the entire game. And it continues to happen. And I feel like that is the game plan when you play against Caitlin Clark, and the refs still.
The frustration has reached a boiling point. During their most recent game, Clark herself had to be restrained by team staff during a heated exchange with referee Michael Price. She was seen telling the official, "That's just rude, grow up," and threatening to call the league on him. When the player who's bringing unprecedented attention and revenue to your league is telling officials to grow up, maybe it's time for some serious introspection. But let's talk about the bigger picture here. The WNBA was struggling before Caitlin Clark arrived. Before her debut, no WNBA game had averaged more than 1 million viewers since 2008. The league was playing in half-empty arenas, with teams like the Indiana Fever drawing only 81,000 fans across their entire 2023 season. Television ratings were abysmal, attendance was declining, and the league was hemorrhaging money, reportedly set to lose $40 million, 0 cents in 2024, despite having their best season in decades.
There's 9 years in Indiana, and now on the staff. And that's a live shot now of Caitlin Clark. He's still upset and wants an explanation from Michael Price.
And maybe at the timing of when that challenge happened on Jan.
Yo, I have no clue what dude said, but for her to want to call the league on the ref, what did he say, man?
Then Clark arrived and everything changed. Her WNBA debut drew 2.1 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA game since 2001. Her games consistently pull in over 1 million viewers, with some reaching as high as 3.2 million. The Fever sold out their home arena for the first time in years, and opposing teams started moving games to larger venues just to accommodate the demand to see Clark play. The league set attendance records with more than 400,000 people attending games in May alone, the highest attended month for the WNBA in over 2 decades. The numbers are staggering. Clark's games average 1.178 million viewers, nearly 3 times higher than the 394,000 viewers for games without her. When she's injured and can't play, ratings drop by more than 50%. The Indiana Fever's attendance averages 16,084 fans with Clark, compared to 8,552 for non-Fever games. Teams are making millions in additional revenue when Clark comes to town, and the league just signed a $2.2 billion 0 cents media deal largely because of the interest she's generated. But here's what the WNBA doesn't seem to understand. All of this success is built on one person. When Clark gets injured, the entire house of cards comes tumbling down. Ratings plummet, attendance drops, and suddenly everyone remembers what the WNBA was like before she arrived. The league's inability to protect their most valuable asset isn't just bad business, it's monumentally stupid.
Well, Kathy Engelbert and the WNBA, well, they have effed around, and now they're about to find out. The WNBA All-Star Game is, of course, in Indianapolis, the home of the Indiana Fever, the home of Caitlin Clark. And now it looks like Caitlin Clark, most likely, I can't imagine that Caitlin Clark will be participating in the three-point contest, or
any other professional sports league would have learned from this by now. In the NBA, star players get calls, they get protected. When someone targets LeBron James or Stephen Curry with dirty plays, there are consequences. Flagrant fouls get reviewed. Players get suspended, and fines actually mean something. But in the WNBA, Jacy Sheldon can poke Clark in the eye, knee her in the groin, and walk away with nothing more than a slap on the wrist. The league's response has been pathetic. After the eye-poking incident, they upgraded Sheldon's foul to a flagrant one and assessed a $2,000 0-cents fine for deliberately poking someone in the eye. That's not discipline, that's encouragement. It's basically telling players that they can target Clark as long as they're willing to pay what amounts to pocket change for a professional athlete. And what about this latest incident? Will there be a review? Will Sheldon face any consequences for what appears to be a deliberate knee to the groin? Based on the WNBA's track record, probably not. The league has shown time and time again that they're more concerned with maintaining some false sense of competitive balance than protecting the player who's literally saving their sport.
the officiating's terrible. These players just beat the crap out of... Honestly, it's not just Caitlin Clark. I watched them beat the crap out of other players too. I don't want to hear a physical league. I watched a physical NBA in the 80s and the 90s, the early 2000s. This is different, folks.
The irony is that Clark's absence hurts everyone. When she's not playing, other players see their own visibility decrease. Television ratings for non-Clark games average just 414,000 viewers. Attendance at games without the Fever drops significantly. The entire ecosystem that Clark has created, the sponsorship deals, the merchandise sales, the media attention, starts to crumble when she's sidelined. But apparently some players would rather drag the league back to obscurity than acknowledge what Clark has accomplished. Players were making minimal salaries, games were played in front of sparse crowds, and the league was essentially subsidized by the NBA because it couldn't turn a profit. The 2021 Women's Championship totaled just 4.1 million viewers. Regular season games struggled to reach 300,000 viewers. It was a nice side project, but it wasn't a legitimate professional sports league in terms of public interest or financial viability.
Y'all are on the internet having a field day making fun of my precious CC, Caitlin Clark. You hear me? She was putting the team on her back. She was giving it all for her team so they can win. She missed several games and hasn't been healthy. She missed 9 games. She haven't been healthy. You hear me? So that tells me a lot about Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC. She a dog. She got that aura, and she's standing on business, and she ain't selfish.
Clark changed all of that. She brought eyeballs, excitement, and revenue to a league that desperately needed all three. Her college games routinely drew more viewers than NBA playoffs. Her WNBA debut broke records that had stood for decades. She's turned women's basketball into appointment television, and she's done it by playing the sport at a level that casual fans can appreciate and enjoy. But instead of celebrating that success and building on it, the WNBA has allowed a culture of resentment to flourish. Players who were toiling in obscurity before Clark arrived are now taking cheap shots at the person who's made them more famous and more financially secure than they've ever been. It's like biting the hand that feeds you, except in this case, the hand is attached to the person who's literally feeding the entire league. The consequences of this short-sightedness are already becoming apparent. Every time Clark gets injured, the league takes a massive financial hit. Ratings drop, attendance plummets, and sponsors start questioning their investments. The All-Star Game, which was supposed to be a celebration of the league's newfound popularity, is now in jeopardy because the main attraction might not be able to participate. The three-point contest, which was designed to showcase Clark's signature skill, could be canceled because she's dealing with yet another injury caused by dangerous play.
The referees yesterday, they were in a league of their own in terms of incompetence. It's the last time we saw the Connecticut Sun, you would think that we would have a crew that would set the tone saying, hey, all of this dirty play is not flying today. But when you're in the WNBA and you have not one, not two, but three incompetent officials all at one time, well, beggars can't be choosers.
This isn't sustainable. The WNBA can't build a league on one player and then allow that player to be systematically targeted by opponents. It's not just bad for Clark, it's bad for everyone. When the league's biggest star is on the sidelines, everybody loses. Television ratings drop, attendance falls, and the momentum that took decades to build starts to evaporate. The solution isn't complicated. The WNBA needs to start taking player safety seriously, especially when it comes to their most valuable assets. Flagrant fouls should result in automatic suspensions, not token fines. Players who engage in dangerous play should face real consequences that actually deter future incidents. And referees need to be held accountable for allowing games to get out of hand. But more than that, the league needs to acknowledge what Clark has accomplished and protect the investment she represents. She's not just another player. She's the reason the WNBA is relevant in 2025. She's the reason television networks are paying billions for media rights. She's the reason fans are showing up to games and buying merchandise. Treating her like any other player isn't just wrong, it's economic suicide.
Caitlin Clark, the reason why she's so upset is just the old weight of the world. It's finally kind of coming down on her. And that's a kind of scary thing where she almost has too much pressure put on her shoulders, and with her not being able to play, either that or maybe it's just missing All-Star Weekend, which is a big thing.
The WNBA has a choice to make. They can continue down this path of willful negligence, allowing players like Jacy Sheldon to target Clark with impunity while pretending that all players are equal. Or they can recognize that they have a generational talent who's transformed their sport and take the necessary steps to protect her. If they choose the former, they'll watch as their newfound popularity evaporates, along with Clark's health. The league will return to playing in half-empty arenas, struggling for television coverage, and begging for financial support from the NBA. But if they choose the latter, they have the opportunity to build something lasting. They can create a league that's both competitive and safe, where star players are protected and the sport can continue to grow. They can ensure that the next generation of players has the platform that Clark has created, rather than watching it crumble due to negligence and short-sightedness. Jacy Sheldon should be suspended for her actions. The referees should be held accountable for their failure to protect Clark, and the league should implement policies that ensure this kind of targeting doesn't happen again, because if they don't, they'll have no one to blame but themselves when the Caitlin Clark era ends prematurely, taking the WNBA's moment of glory with it.